Hi, I'm Dr. Christopher Cortman, and now for the Mental Health Minute. I want to talk about children today and what happens to children when they experience a trauma like a hurricane. Well, for one thing, children have many different experiences. It's not just one experience. For instance, some of the children had to be displaced for the time of the storm, only to return to houses that were smashed and broken or flooded. Some people have to relocate and they don't know where they're going. Some people lost family members or even pets in tragic ways during the storm. And some important possessions, things that they owned that meant a lot to them. All in all, it was very traumatic for some people. For other people, they were virtually unscathed. Nothing happened, but they got a few days off from school. So what do we do with all of this? Well, some people are inclined to say, don't worry about it. Time is the great healer. Just let the time pass and everything will be okay. Except that's not true. All time does is pass. It's not the healer people think it is. In fact, we have to do something actively in order to heal. Let me share a true story about the middle finger on my right hand. As you may be able to see, there's a bump in this finger. One day in graduate school, I was playing football with the guys, and I made what was probably a very remarkable catch. That would have been on ESPN, except there was no ESPN back then. Anyway, and unbeknownst to me, I broke my finger during that play. And when the game ended, I walked back to my room and noticed that my finger was out of joint. So I went to the hospital and they said, yeah, this finger is going to need a pin and we're going to have to do a little surgery. And as a graduate student, I didn't have any money because graduate students by definition are poor. And so I blew it off. So all these years later, my finger is still out of joint because I didn't do what was necessary to help it heal. So I've got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is some of these traumas, they don't heal on their own. The children will carry them throughout their lives and it'll be made manifest in different symptoms that they have. So now the good news. Children can get the necessary help right away or at any time along the way if they face what happened to them. Now, I want you to understand that it's not the same for every child. You know, I've seen families where the whole family went through a challenge together, but every member of the family had a different perspective and something that was most traumatic for them during the time. So, how do we help this? Do you have to be a mental health professional to help these children? More good news. No, you don't. But what the children need to do is they need to have an opportunity to express what it was like for them. They have to share their fear, their sadness, their trauma, the helplessness that they felt. And they can express that in any number of ways. As parents and teachers, we can give them the opportunity to draw pictures of what it was like to be them during the hurricane. We could have them tell little stories. They could act it out with their toys if they're young enough. Or they can express it to an adult. We can ask them questions like, what was the scariest part for you? What was the hardest part? What was it that made you feel best about you when the storm was over? Or what did you learn that was positive for you? And if the struggles continue, it's probably wise to get them some professional help. And how do you know if the kids are having a hard time? In the next video, I want to share signs and symptoms that the children are traumatized from the hurricane or something else.